So I figured with Rise of the Beasts right around the corner, now would be a good time as any to take a look at the original Beast Wars series. Maybe it'll give me an idea on what to expect for the new movie. Now, I'll admit, I had some concerns going into this because from a few clips I saw, I expected this show to be a juvenile joke of a show that never took itself seriously. Boy, was I wrong. I guess the best way to run through this is to start at the beginning and address some of my key thoughts that I have. Well, let's start with animation. During the first few episodes, the animation and CGI quality was, well, it took some getting used to, but it definitely improved as time went on, so I got used to it after a while. On that note, I should talk about the designs. For the majority of characters, I loved how they looked. I think the designs of the Maximals and Predacons were really nice. There were some really great designs there. I think if anything had any issues, it was some of the beast modes, but you get used to those after a while. There were some designs in later seasons that I thought were absolutely horrid though, but we'll get to that later. But in general, everyone in the first season looked really, really good. Oh, but one point I absolutely have to address is the voice cast. Oh my gosh, the voice cast in this show is incredible!
Yes.
It is absolutely stellar. Every character's voice just pops and shines. I love it!
Tarnation! Another one thinks he's tougher than me.
We've done nothing to him. Surely there's been a misunderstanding.
Yeah. Oh, Blender Butler misunderstands my need to kick his keister.
It is so refreshing to hear some quality voice work, especially considering how lackluster it's been in some of the more recent Transformers shows. This voice cast is a breath of fresh air and I love it. A couple of highlights for me were, first of all, Gary Chalk. Oh my goodness, he is great.
Well, that's just prime.
He is officially my second favorite Optimus Prime voice actor. And I think the reason he is so great is because he's not trying to emulate Peter Cullen. And although I'm really bummed we didn't get him in Rise of the Beasts now, it would have been glorious. Peter and Gary in the same film. Oh, has that ever happened? Have they ever been in something together? But this would have been a perfect opportunity to do it, and we didn't get it. Another high point was Scott McNeil. The dude voices like 4 characters in this show, and his range is so good you almost can't even tell. I couldn't really even tell.
We're all gonna die.
Of course, I cannot forget to mention David Kaye as Megatron.
Yes.
Aside from the fact that I absolutely adore Megatron's design, the take on him was different, but I liked it. It's always interesting to try something new for a character. I mean, you gotta be careful. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Pablo. Well, either way, Season 1 is without a doubt my favorite season of the series. Really, there was only one episode in this entire series that I really did not like. And that is Season 1, Episode 22, The Low Road. Its title is quite appropriate, really. This episode just took comedy way over the top for me. I mean, I don't deny it. Beast Wars has some rather comedic moments, but this episode just took it up tenfold. I couldn't stick with it. It was just too much for me. Fortunately, it seemed to be the only episode that was that comedic, so one episode of the entire series ain't too bad, but yeah. In general, Beast Wars took itself way more seriously than I thought it would. Now, there is another character I want to address, but I'm really not sure how to do it without sounding vulgar or explicit. And that is, of course, Black Arachnia. The best way I can put it is this. I have never seen a female Transformer this well equipped. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. I've just never seen that blatant aspect of a fembot design in any Transformers show ever. I don't know how this got through for a kids show, but I love it!
Aw, don't be so testy.
Yeah, that first season design is... wow. Incredible. Which, if you thought Season 1 Black Arachnium was feminine, well, you're in for a real treat now, because Season 3 multiplies that tenfold.
Love the new look. Goodbye.
Which, despite that, I still prefer the Season 1 version, which has a couple, better assets. I need to stop. Okay, we need to move on.
Hey, you emasculating fembot!
Let's move on to Season 2, where the bulk of my issues reside. So, main issue number 1. That is the implication of some of the transmetal designs. Robot designs for the transmetals, I liked. I thought those looked pretty neat. They kept the original look of the character, just slightly tweaking them to be a bit more upgraded. The beast modes combined with the car aspect, I did not like. I thought that was really odd, and in some cases downright ugly.
I'm a rat with wheels! Cool.
Weird, but most of them I could stomach. But the worst design, by far, Optimus Primal.
Well, that's just prime.
What the heck was that? Never mind the fact that the facial design for him was so bizarre. Some sort of monster monkey. But he transforms into a surfing solid blue ape. What was that? That design was just terrible in both modes.
Hello and goodbye, Transmetal Optimus Primal.
Megatron was a bit better. I thought his robot mode was really cool. Vehicle mode was weird, but I could tolerate it. And then there's Tarantulas. I loved his Transmetal design. I thought it looked wicked. And how many times has he died? Like 3 times? I'm still not convinced he's dead even now. I don't know if he's in Beast Machines, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm still going under the assumption he ain't dead because he's been dead multiple times and he ain't dead. He always comes back. Somehow, some way, I don't know. It's kind of weird. Characters can take some really substantial damage and live, while others get obliterated by the simplest things. That's another issue I have with this show. 2 times, characters are offed in really pathetic ways. The first one is at the start of Season 2. Right at the start of the episode, Scorponok, Pterosaur, dead. They fall into lava and die. Just like that. I did not like that. I found that kind of insulting. They deserved a better way to go. And that's not the only time that happens. If you move on a little further ahead, on the Maximal side, you have Air Razor and Tigatron. There was a bit of a relationship blooming there, but they were out most of the season, and when we see them again, they get killed by a plant. Why? I guess they weren't technically killed, but they were out of the season just like that. Why? They had an interesting dynamic they could have built upon, but they didn't. So, yeah, I did not like that either. But, despite Season 2's flaws, it had some of, if not the, best episodes of the series. One of which stands out as probably one of the best pieces of Transformers media I have ever seen, and that is Code of Hero. It took some really bold moves for a kid's show. I mean, right at the beginning you have Dinobot contemplating self-termination. Which is something I never expected to see in a Transformers show, of all things. But honestly, the more I think about it, not only is this the best episode in the entire series, this just might be the best Transformers episode of any series. This episode is that good.
The question that once haunted my being has been answered. The future is not fixed. My choices are my own. And yet, shall find. I have no choice at all. I am a warrior. Let the battle be joined.
Maybe I blew over it while watching, but did Dinobot know he was going to die? Maybe I missed it, but he seemed to have this foreknowledge that he was, like, destined to die. Because it sure seemed like it. If I missed something there, let me know, because I honestly don't remember any plot point like that. Well, anyway, the episode ends with Dinobot going out in a blaze of glory against every single Predacon to save the, proto-humans? Which, despite their horrifying designs aside, never once has any Transformers show brought me to the point of tears. This episode did.
Tell my tale to those who ask. Tell it truly, the ill deeds, along with the good, and let me be judged accordingly. The rest is silence.
He lived a warrior and died a hero. Let his spark join the Matrix, the greatest of Cybertron.
Let's move on to Season 3, which thankfully, we get a better design of Optimus, like, right at the start, I think. Optimal Optimus, I believe he was called. Still a bit on the bizarre side, but definitely way better compared to the last season. Then we get Depth Charge, which I think was David Sobolov's first role in the Transformers universe. Could be wrong, but I think this was his first one. He was a unique design, bit of a rogue. Found him intriguing. Oh, and then we also have Air Razor and Tigertron that merge into Tigerhawk. Nice design, but they don't stick around very long before they're killed. Again. Poor Air Razor and Tigertron. They deserved better. A lot more characters died than I thought they would. Rampage died. Depth Charge died. Inferno and Quickstrike get killed by Megatron, of all things. The only one who came out of this well, aside from the Maximals, was Waspinator. Which, you know, good for him. He deserved a happy ending, I guess. In the end, I thoroughly enjoyed this series, all things considered. It had its share of flaws, but it also gave me some of the best pieces of Transformers media I have ever witnessed. So, I'm glad I watched it. If you want to check it out for yourself, you can watch it on Tubi, or there is a 4K upscale here on YouTube. I have a newly found appreciation for this series. Well, I think that about sums up my vast, erratic, spouting off of random Beast Wars stuff. I suppose I'll see you next time when I discuss my thoughts on Rise of the Beasts. Wonder how that'll turn out. Alright, well, that'll do it for this video. Till then, I heart SugarBot.
Someone get him a kitty treat before he drools all over your computer.